Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. As you probably know, Australian boxing is pretty much flying. You've got Jaya Pattaya, who, in my opinion, and the opinion of many, is the best cruiserweight in the world. You've got other fighters coming through. Liam Paro is very good. You've still got Kambosos, who I like a lot. Never ducks anyone. And there are others, but Australian boxing, I think, is really flying. But the one person, it's also flying in the women's department, because the one person people seem to be overlooking a little bit is Skye Nicolson, who's the WBC interim featherweight champ. And she was vying for a fight with Amanda Serrano for the undisputed title. But Serrano has insisted for some time now that she will fight the rest of her career 12 3-minute rounds, not 10 twos. And Skye has said, well, she kind of knows that my style is wrong for her, so that's an excuse. I don't think it is an excuse. I think Serrano has had a long, very successful career. She's a great female fighter and a bit of a trailblazer in many respects. And I think she saw 12 threes as the next challenge and the next kind of taking her career, her legacy, and women's boxing to the next level. And I'm a big supporter of Serrano. You can argue that there are arguments to be made that 12 threes is problematic for women for a number of reasons. I've done a video on that. I've done more than one video on that. But Skye, I don't buy that Serrano was scared of Skye Nicolson, but I do think Skye Nicolson is a very effective fighter. I don't think she's the most exciting fighter. She has a hands-down sort of fencing style, very quick, very slick. She got her first stoppage of her career against Lucy Wildheart in her previous fight. And she's actually going to fight for the full WBC title now that they have stripped Serrano. As you may know, Maurizio Suleiman has said 12 threes is out of the question. It's got to be 10 twos for health reasons, for safety reasons. So Skye is going to face Denmark's SARAH MAHFOUD, who's a very good fighter. She fought, she actually fought Serrano, and according to Skye, she won 3 rounds. There were 3 judges, so it's feasible that one of them gave 3 rounds. I should have checked really, but I didn't bother. I remember that fight, and clearly Serrano beat her. That's all I remember. It was a very clear victory. But Skye's saying, well, just as Lucy Wildheart took a few rounds off Serrano, so did SARAH MAHFOUD. SARAH MAHFOUD, I stopped Wildheart, and SARAH MAHFOUD won't win 3 rounds against me. Okay, that's good. That's what you expect a champion in weighting to be like. Matchroom are trying to get the fight in Australia, in Brisbane, and Skye says that'll be a dream come true for my first world title fight. I'm really excited to win that first world title and bring it home to Australia. Matchroom right now are trying to focus on a date in April. I think a lot of people thought my last fight was going to be a tough test for me, but I know what I'm capable of. I didn't overlook Lucy Wildheart, but I knew the fight was going to be a big statement. And she did get her first stoppage, so fair enough. I've said from day one, the better the opponent, the better the Skye Nicolson you'll see on the night. Okay, that's great. And okay, I support Skye Nicolson, what she's saying. But it does look like she's going to have to win those belts one by one, that she's not going to get, well, she won't get the undisputed now because the WBC's title's been stripped. It does strip from Serrano. It does beg the question, well, what about Skye saying the hell with the belts and fighting Serrano over 12 threes instead? I don't think Serrano would avoid her. I think over 10 twos, Nicholson's style gives Serrano a lot of problems early on. I would still pick Serrano to sort of chop her down and hunt her down, and the second half of the fight would definitely belong to Serrano for me. And I know Serrano's past her best, but she's still got plenty left. Over 12 threes, without question, Serrano stopped Skye. I don't even see that as being a particularly competitive fight, unless Serrano really does get old overnight. So if Skye wants to fight, if you're the challenger, you've got to go where the champ, and she's still got 3 belts, Serrano. If Skye throws her name into the hat and says, I'll fight you at 12 threes, which not all women are prepared to do, then I don't see why Serrano wouldn't say, okay, I'll fight you then. She's never ducked anyone in the past. But it does look like Skye is going to go one belt at a time. Probably Serrano will walk off into the sunset, and Skye will look to pick up the belts one at a time. She's got time on her hands because she's 28 now, so she's probably in her prime. She's got a good amateur background, went to the Olympics, and I would pick her to beat Mahfoud pretty comfortably. 8-2 maybe in rounds. Stoppage, I'm not so sure, but I didn't think she'd stop Lucy Wildheart, and she did. Stopped her on her feet anyway. With Skye, it's a death by 1,000 cuts or a death by 1,000 punches, because she doesn't have one punch power, but she sort of wears you down and grinds you down and chops you up bit by bit. But I think Mahfoud is that'll be an interesting fight. The one fight that really sticks in my mind of Skye Nicholson's is against the Spaniard Tanya Alvarez, who is the current Spanish champion. And she was undefeated at the time. And this kid was tougher. I mean, she's quite a sort of unassuming looking girl. She's very attractive, but doesn't look like a boxer at all. And you know what? She doesn't fight like one either. She had no semblance of defense, no idea about technique. It was simply, I'm walking forward and I'm throwing punches at you. And Skye was whacking at her, belting her left, right, and centre. And this kid was just kept coming. And in my opinion, in that fight, if you look at it, and that was obviously a 10-2 fight, Skye Nicolson was knackered because she was throwing so many punches and landing them. She was wearing herself out. And by the end of that fight, she was very, very fatigued, very fatigued. Her legs didn't look steady at all. And that fight against someone who was so crude, but tougher than teak, as they say. And also at the end of it, Alvarez didn't have many marks on her. She'd been hit hundreds of times, but she had no marks on her. If that was Michaela Mayer not Michaela Mayer, but certainly if it was Michaela Mayer, but also if that was Amanda Serrano in there facing Skye, and Skye was belting her, and Serrano was just coming back with a far more cultured, conventional and heavier barrage of punches, I think she'd smash Skye up, to be honest with you. Beat the hell out of her. But it doesn't look like they're going to fight. But anyway, what are your opinions on Skye Nicolson? I know a lot of you from Australia. I want to hear your opinions because, she's your girl. So let me know how far you think she can go. Can she win? I mean, I think she's probably going to beat Mahfoud. Do you see her unifying, becoming undisputed perhaps? Let me know what you think. Comments below, and subscribe to the channel if you're new, please. Hit the like button, and I'll catch you later. Nice one. Bye for now.